What's your name?
Lauren. What's
your last name?
Kaban.
Wrong! We're getting married, and that's not what your last name is gonna be.
You didn't ask me what my last name is gonna be.
Hey, speak it and speak it into existence.
You asked me what my last name is.
You gotta speak it into existence. So we wanted to do this video to kind of update everybody on like our wedding plans, which are
non-existent.
So actually we're like still trying to kind of like figure it out, kind of, I guess, right?
A little bit.
One thing that, no, but on a serious note, one thing we've actually been thinking about is like in America, probably in, I don't know, other parts of the world, but specifically in America, I feel like people focus too much on like the materialistic things. So like big old diamond rings, big old dresses, big old weddings, going so far out the way. And while all that stuff is nice, it's like our divorce rate is like what, 54% or something like that.
Really
so
high.
For us, it's like we want to do those things, but we want to put more focus onto like the actual love and the relationship, and actually having a relationship that's going to last, not just like a huge wedding that you're going to make a scrapbook out of that you're never going to look at again because 5 years later you're not even going to with that same person. So we just kind of wanted to challenge ourselves to do it differently, and then maybe be an example and an influence to other people to just not always feel like you have to do what everyone else is doing without a reason. You can kind of talk about like how you feel about the whole thing from like a woman's perspective.
Well, at first it was hard because you're the one that actually challenged me to be like, well, why do you want to have a wedding?
Gosh, she was crying like every day.
I mean, every little girl dreams of their wedding day and dreams.
I don't know if we would say every little girl though. That's the thing.
I would say.
I think we might have to say every American little girl. Okay. So I don't know how.
So that's true too. But I mean, you kind of get what I'm saying.
Right.
It's a young age. It's kind of embedded into your mind that when you get married, you do this huge grand celebration. Which, if that fits you and that's, you know, within your budget and your means, and that's what you want to do, and you have a good reason for it, then by all means, like, that's what you do. For me, it doesn't make sense to have to put in money out of pocket, potentially go into debt for other people to come and celebrate us. It would be nice for your family or other friends to come together and throw something on your behalf for the bride and groom, for you. People
focus more on the wedding, like we've been learning, than they do on like the counseling. Like no one's gonna be like, you're not taking counseling, oh that's so crazy. But if you say like they might say that, but they'll be more aggressive if you're like, yo, I don't want to have a wedding. Like how are you gonna get married out like a big wedding or doing all this stuff? But then if you're like, I'm not doing counseling, or I'm not taking these type of steps, like it's not as big a deal. I feel like that's what matters more, but it's all about like what's like marketed, like you said, to like women.
I think ultimately it's just the way we've been programmed, the things that we've been taught after years after years after years. Ultimately it's a business, you know. People make money off of renting venues and catering and decorations. So, you know, weddings are extremely expensive. So would it be nice to have a huge wedding with your family and friends there to celebrate? Absolutely. But is it realistic for us at this point in time in our lives? Absolutely not. So it's just a matter of switching your focus to what really matters. Because I mean, like we were learning, people spend years and tons of resources on their careers or their vocations, and they put all this planning and preparation, but when it comes to a marriage, nobody prepares for it. It's like, oh, we're in love, so we're gonna get married, you know, when it takes a lot more work than that. So we decided to focus more on the life we want to build rather than the 5-hour celebration that everybody else does.
It's like gonna be so rare that you have someone that's like, oh my god, your wedding like changed my life. So not to say that's not important, but I feel like us right now, and you don't, like how I've talked about in other videos, like you don't know how long you have to live. So I feel like us in our current situation, with the same amount, with actually significantly less amount of money, we have an opportunity to inspire people to actually think about, oh my god, like okay, maybe I've been thinking about like marriage and love wrong, and you guys actually inspired me to actually care about my relationship instead of these materialistic things.
Yeah, a lot of people that I've talked to that have had weddings before, I mean, I haven't talked to everybody in the world obviously, but for the most part, the people that have had big weddings and grand celebrations have not necessarily regretted that that, but they always say that they wish they would have done it differently.
Right, yeah.
They
almost 9 out of 10 times.
Right, they'll say, you know, I wish I hadn't spent so much money, or I would have, you know, omitted doing that altogether and would have used that money towards a trip. On the flip side, those that have just done a small intimate wedding or just went to the courthouse and signed the paper and got married same day, those are the people that they wouldn't have changed a thing.
Right, they're not like, oh my God, I wish I would have done something so much bigger.
They didn't miss out on anything, because ultimately you can have that party or celebration whenever. So
that kind of brings us to, like, I did a video before, I'll link to it, but how I was talking about how, like, I feel like God is kind of calling us to go to Rome. What we wanted to do is, like, give people an opportunity that might have went to the wedding or that feel like close to us and like, yo, we want to contribute to your guys' vision, to what you guys are doing. Like, we see what you guys are doing, you guys are trying to inspire other couples and you guys are trying to do it the right way, and we want to like support you. What we're thinking about doing is we want to set up like a GoFundMe or something like that. Obviously, if no one else contributes, like, we'll come up with the money like somehow. We don't know how, we just having faith, but
whatever.
If not, it's like we wanted to give people an opportunity to say like, hey, I want to support like your guys' vision and your guys' message and what you guys are doing. It's not just about entertainment, it's about taking these opportunities, showing people what is out there in the world, in that you don't always have to do like the status quo. Like, it's more about like the relationships that you have with people and doing things that you love, rather than just having like all these things or whatever.
Right.
You know, we'll link to that, but we just wanted to give people an opportunity that supported us, that would have maybe came to a wedding or did something else, to say, hey, you can actually support something that's going to be more meaningful than just coming to a party or giving us like a toaster or something like that. Like, this is going to be like, this is a vision that we feel like we've had from God, and something that we want to do to actually inspire other people.
We kind of calculated between flight and stay and food and maybe a little bit extra, it'd be roughly around $3,000 for 2 weeks versus
crazy.
10, 15, 20 thousand dollars
like a couple of hours
for one event.
A couple of hours, not even a day.
And it's like you get to go and experience a whole nother culture.
Like,
you
together.
get to build memories.
You're never gonna forget that.
Right. You have no idea what's in store. It's a whole new adventure that you get to go on. I would just encourage you to think for yourself, make the decision that you want to do, not because your mom or your grandma or, well, you have to have a wedding, you know, that's just what you do, it's tradition.
Or even to take it a step farther, even what your partner wants to do.
Right.
Like, I don't think you always need to agree, but you should have a reason behind what you're doing. So if like I thought that having a wedding didn't really mean much to me, but she did, it shouldn't just be because she saw it in a magazine. It should be because like she has like an actual reason, like, oh, I want, like, my dad has never been able to like really support me in something, like this is his first time, or I never see my family, this is the only chance, like something that is more than just like, oh, that's what you're supposed to do, or I've always wanted to, because that's not really a good enough reason. So like you said, think for yourself and like dig deep into the meaning behind what you're doing. I think that's like the point behind our vlogs and this channel, is like, have fun, but it's not just about like going to Rome or eating at all these restaurants. Is about enjoying it with like people that you actually like care about, and exploring life at the same time.
Encouraging you and challenging you to step out of your comfort zone and try something different. Who cares if nobody else agrees with you?
First of all, thank you to anybody that actually does donate to that or contributes to that. We just, you know, really appreciate anybody and everybody that supports the vision. Hopefully we can add value and return that favor in somehow through what we're already doing. Alrighty guys, well, we appreciate the love. Like I said, we'll link to everything. Thank you for supporting our vision. If you guys have any questions, actually, if you guys have any suggestions or feedback or anything, comment below. Let us know what you guys did for your wedding if you're married, and then if you're not married, let us know if you're engaged, what your plans are, or like what you've always like thought that a wedding would be. And then also let us know like how important like you guys feel like the whole marriage, like basically in America, and how everything is set up. We want to hear like your guys' feedback. It's probably like a big topic. People probably have
I feel like it's
a lot of different feedback.
So
don't be in the comments like fighting with each other, but we do want to know like what you guys think about. Thank you guys, and we'll see you guys on the next one.